Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, this is breaking news in the boxing world. I just woke up from freaking sleeping, and I go on Instagram, and what do I see on Instagram? I see my main man, 50 grand, Eddie Hearn, has signed Joseph Parker to DAZN and Matchroom Boxing. So just. I haven't read any other reports or tweets or anything like that. I literally just saw this myself, and I'm giving you guys my reaction, raw and rugged. What a signing for Eddie Hearn and DAZN, because Joseph Parker, he's still a young fighter. He was world champion really young in his career. He was world champion when he was 24. You know, when we talk about DAZN and just all the heavyweights they do have, we're talking about, you know, even though Anthony Joshua's not formally signed to DAZN, he works with DAZN. So you got Anthony Joshua, you have Michael the Bounty Hunter, you have Alexander Usyk, you have Filip Hrgovic. You know, if you look at, maybe they don't have the big three heavyweight, but they have a lot of guys who are either have been world champion and are still young, or are pegged to be world champions at some time in the future. So it's looking really good for Eddie Hearn in DAZN and Matchroom Boxing. As far as what this means for Parker, you know, I made a video not too long ago saying that I think Joseph Parker is in a good position, that he was one of the only fighters that you would consider a top 10 heavyweight who hadn't signed, you know, a major promotional deal of some sorts. You know, he was just with David Higgins, you know, over there in New Zealand, but now he's with Eddie Hearn in DAZN, and I think for him this is good because he took a lot of time off to basically be with his kid, and he had a kid recently, so he took some time off to be with his kid. And now it's funny because literally just yesterday, I saw a video of him and Tyson Fury in the gym over there in Las Vegas. So you know, he was a well-regarded heavyweight. I remember like when he was coming up as a prospect, I was making many videos about Joseph Parker and him talking about how he was going to be the next world champion and he wanted to be the next world champion. But he's one of them. But even when he was world champion, I don't think he really got his respect as world champion because a lot of people thought Andy Ruiz beat him. A lot of people thought, you know, the Huey Fury fight was horrible and it was boring, and then there was just so many fights where Joseph Parker didn't show his best self, and I think he's at a stage of his career where he has to show his best self because he's left a lot to be desired. Like if we look at the Dillian White fight, I'll be the first to raise my hand. I picked Joseph Parker to beat Dillian White. I thought that was going to be the fight where Joseph Parker got back on track and he showed his class and he showed his ability, and he did it. He was gun shy, he was getting outworked, and it wasn't until the 12th round where he realized, damn, I got fast hands, I got power in my hands, let me let my hands go. So he started letting his hands go. He damn near stopped Dillian White in the 12th round, but couldn't show that extra bit of quality in that short of a time to get him out of there. So ultimately he wound up losing that fight. So I think it's a new start for him. I think if he's really put the work and done the work to make the adjustments to his style that needs to make, such as, you know, pushing the pace and upping your activity on fight night, you know, then I think he's a tough out for anybody in the heavyweight division because of the fact that he moves. He's a shorter heavyweight. You know, he's like 6'3" in this era, 6'2", 6'3", and in this era that is considered a smaller heavyweight. When we talk about guys like Ivan Ditchko who are 6'9", or Joshua who's 6'6", Wilder 6'7", Tyson Fury who's like 6'9" himself. You know, 6'3" is like an average heavyweight these days, you know? So he's got above average punching power. He's got very good hand speed. When he decides to put his hands together, he's a very good combination puncher. And I think the move going to DAZN, it could bode well for him because there's some definitely, you know, good matchups for him. You know, when we talk about DAZN, I think the Michael Hunter fight would be a fun fight for him, a good fight for him. You know, we talked about Filip Hrgovic. I mean, I don't know if he wants that Hrgovic smoke. Hrgovic is knocking dudes out left, right, and center. And Hrgovic he just put out a video. Hrgovic literally just put out a video. I saw it this morning. Hrgovic put out a video, or the Cal Sonderland and the Sonderland bros on their Instagram account. Hrgovic just put out a video this morning saying that he wants to fight that second tier of heavyweights. You know, Dillian White, Joseph Parker, Povetkin, those guys. So he mentioned Parker by name. Parker actually commented on it, basically putting like a little fist sign saying, you know, he's willing to do it. So I wouldn't be surprised if Hrgovic versus Parker is a fight that they do very early on in Parker's deal with DAZN. Obviously, should he start winning some fights and getting some buzz again, Parker getting back into title contention, there could be an Anthony Joshua fight, an Anthony Joshua rematch. And I know we don't want to see an Anthony Joshua Joseph Parker rematch because their first fight was so horrible. It was terrible. Like, for a fight that I talked about for so long here on YouTube, that fight did not live up to it at all. Like, I was actually going to consider watching some Anthony Joshua fights today, just to go back and look at his old fights and see how maybe things he does wrong in the ring could work out for Ruiz. But I wanted to watch Parker fight, but I couldn't do it, man. The first fight, that fight was so horrible. So I'm not really too giddy about the prospects of a rematch with Joseph Parker. But hey, Parker lost to Anthony Joshua. Parker lost to Dillian White as well. So being that he's with Eddie Hearn now in DAZN, that could be something with White and Joshua where he seeks rematches and he positions himself to get back to the top of the heavyweight division. Because even when he was at the top, nobody really recognized him as like one of the better champions out there. He was probably, his whole reign as heavyweight champion, WBO heavyweight champion or title holder, he was recognized as the weakest champion in the division. Because it was him. At one point in time, it was Joshua, Wilder, and Parker. That's how it was at one point. And people didn't think he was better than Joshua, and a lot of people didn't think he was better than Wilder. But I'll say this about Joseph Parker. One thing you gotta respect about Joseph Parker is if you look at his resume, the guys he's fought thus far in his career. We're talking about Andy Ruiz, we're talking about Anthony Joshua, we're talking about Dillian White, we're talking about Carlos Takam. He's got a really good resume for the guys he's been in there with. A really good resume for the guys he's been in there with. He hasn't quite performed in the big fights yet. Personally, I think there's still a lot of time for him to really adjust and readjust himself and get better, because heavyweights do mature later on in their career. He had the world title. He was world champion at heavyweight very young in his career, I believe 24 years old. So, fighters mature at different paces. Not everybody's Anthony Joshua, where you're getting a world title at 25, 26 or whatever you got it at. No, because he's 28 now, so yeah, like 25, 26, and you just start blazing through everybody. Some guys, it takes them longer to mature. Sometimes they gotta lose, in the ring so they can gain out the ring and get better. So I'm really happy for Joseph Parker. I think this will be good for him. I think it thickens the plot for DAZN and Matchroom Boxing, on there, because we see it with the middleweight division. They pretty much got the middleweight division on lock. They got all the champions. They got pretty much all the champions. They got Jacobs, they got Andrade, they got Golovkin, who's not a champion, but still he's Golovkin, and they got Canelo. So Jacobs, Andrade, Golovkin, they have all the middleweights. Then if you look at heavyweight, they either signed or have a very close working relationship with Anthony Joshua, Philip Hrgovic, Michael Hunter, Joseph Parker, and I'm sure I'm forgetting a bunch of heavyweights, but I'm saying they got a lot of top heavyweights, or guys that are going to be top heavyweights, and they're going to make some really, really good matchups. So that's the news. Joseph Parker signs with Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing, DAZN, and all parties involved on that side. It should be interesting for his career as he takes his next step. I believe he hasn't fought since the Joshua fight, which was last March, right? I must say last March. So he's got a lot of work to do. He's got a lot of things he's got to take care of, and to get back into title contention. Philip Hrgovic is calling out his name. So maybe if he wants that smoke, that could be something he looks into. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. Joseph Parker signs with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Boxing in DAZN. I'll leave the Instagram post down below for you, because this literally just was posted as I woke up this morning, so you can go check that out down there below. So yeah, like I say in every video, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.